Charles Leclerc with his 30-second lead. And we've had an engine failure. Alright, so we've lost the car, we spin. And if we want to win this race, we're just going to have to send it like we did in Imola on Leclerc. Put it around as possible, and there's contact between ourselves and Ricciardo. It's run us off track, and he's hit us again. Double left-hander, we've spun completely 180 degrees, and there's a crash. And we've made contact, I've hit the wall. We're out of the race, our tyres off, same too with Perez. And I have to back out, and Leclerc's hit us. We got floor damage. I'm on the grass and the gravel. I've spun in front of the field there. But Charles Leclerc is going to come through and take a dominant victory here in Saudi Arabia. And title fight's going to go down to the last round in Abu Dhabi. Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're here with part 52 and the finale of our F1 2021 MyTeam career mode here for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix at the Aston Martin circuit. The normal conclusion for a normal F1 season. Although this hasn't really been a normal F1 season, there's been lots of twists and turns, lots of ups and downs, as you may have seen in that little starting video, a lot of incidents, and it's all led to this final round with a 10-point gap between myself and Charles Leclerc. There's, a lot to play for here in the Yas Marino. If just even one thing goes wrong and Leclerc scores well, he could clinch this title off of us at the final round. And so, yeah, it's important to make sure we do that. We're also trying to hold on to the Constructors' Championship as well. Remember, we haven't won either a Drivers or Constructors yet this game cycle here. And so we're trying to do both of those in our final ever race on the F1 2021 game. So yeah, no pressure at all to try and bring this home. Hopefully Verstappen can have a nice one as well. Having both cars up towards the front would be, really good. And you never want to really prey on bad luck for your opponents, but we want to. It'd be nice if Ferrari made it a bit easy for us. But yeah, let's have a look at the qualifying rundown for the final round of the season.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Benjamin lines up on pole position, and P2 goes to Daniel Ricciardo, a strong showing from the Australian. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Hamilton, Vettel, Sergio Perez, and Bottas, Leclerc, Gasly, Tsunoda, and Lance Stroll, Mazepin, Norris, Max Verstappen, and Fernando Alonso. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Latifi, Russell, Esteban Ocon, they've taken a grid penalty, and Antonio Giovinazzi, Matsushita, Schwartzman, Sainz, and Mick Schumacher. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
There's still a chance we can win this championship, so go out there and bring back the title.
So here we are sitting on the grid for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We're lining up on pole position here for a very crucial race in the championship, the final race of the championship, where we are trying to clinch the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors' Championship. I just said championship many times here in a very quick succession there. But yeah, in terms of qualifying positions, obviously I just said we're in first. We've got Ricciardo lining up alongside us on the front row. Leclerc is right down in 7th. He actually is the one that qualified on pole. I qualified 2nd, but he's crucially had to take an engine penalty heading into this final round. I don't think he's taken one yet so far this season, so they've tried to make those engines last, but yeah, at the last round, he's had to, lose a few spots there off the starting grid. Same too with Max. He was up somewhere mid-top 10, but he's ended up down in 13th, and Carlos Sainz, who has been right at the front for the last couple of rounds, has qualified about mid-top 10 again, but he ends up down in 21st after taking another engine penalty. But here we go to the 5 red lights, and away we go into the twilight for the final round of the final season here on the F1 2021 game. It's an all-right launch, but we've got Daniel Ricciardo, our former teammate, trying to set it up the inside. We sweep around the outside and retain the lead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix here. Very crucial there for us to make sure we get that done. However, it's not over yet, because here comes the Mercedes. He's going to try and go around the outside as we head into the second sector. We're going to go side by side here through the chicane. I'll go around the outside of the second part. I'll have the inside for the hairpin, but that crucially means he's going to have a better exit here down this very long straight. Obviously no DRS yet, as it's only the first lap. Won't be enabled until lap 3. Weaving around the straight, sort of similar to what Max Verstappen did last year in the real 2021 season, trying to break that slipstream, and it has worked for now. Ricciardo very late on the brakes though, last second sends it up the inside. We do keep it ahead though, and we should be able to keep it ahead down this straight as well. We've got a little bit of a gap there with a better exit. As we have a look at the end of lap 1, Ricciardo is going very slow, so I think he's actually damaged his front wing a little bit somewhere. He must have made a little bit of contact with us somewhere, or maybe with Sebastian Vettel, and you can see here he is coming into the pit lane at the end of the first lap. So huge shame there for our former teammate in the Mercedes, but crucially as well, our teammate Max Verstappen is into the pit lane as well. So unfortunately, buried down in the pack there through the midfield, I imagine he was trying to make some aggressive overtakes to get himself into the points. And yeah, unfortunately, he's got a damaged front wing. So as we now head to lap 3, skipping lap 2 there, nothing happened there. We got Sebastian Vettel closing us down in the Ferrari. Crucially, it's not our rival's Ferrari. It is instead the other Ferrari, Sebastian Vettel, as we head into the chicane, sorry. We're going to go side by side with the Ferrari. We are going to go side by side on the exit there, unlike Ricciardo. And we do get the move done there, but he is very close. And look at these guys behind us. Vettel, Bottas, and Hamilton almost going 3 wide there. We're almost going 4 wide now as we head into this chicane here, which will obviously be a different corner in the next iteration of the game. They completely changed this section, but we do hold off Sebastian Vettel. Hamilton and Bottas have also retained their positions of 3rd and 4th. So yeah, some crazy battles going on here as we go on board Sebastian Vettel. He's run up the back of us. He's completely destroyed his front wing, so he's going to have to pit and change that front wing. He's going to lose a bunch of positions. Actually, I don't think Vettel's going to pit. I think he's retiring from the race. That is crucial for the Constructors' standings, especially with Verstappen being right down and out of the points here after making that early pit stop. It's now a 1v1 between myself and Leclerc for the drivers and Constructors' standings here as we head on to lap 4. Hamilton gets ahead of us with DRS there now that that's enabled. I'm not going to overtake here. I'm just going to sit behind, bide my time, and wait for the next DRS zone down this straight here on the exit of the chicane, making sure to get a good exit. We are right on the back of the Mercedes. We will have DRS, and it's going to be a very simple move here to get back ahead of the 7-time champion, who hasn't really had the pace to win an 8th championship at all in our version of the game here. But he has been towards the front, just not enough to really win anything. You can see the 2 Red Bulls there sitting in 3rd and 4th, but we got Hamilton just behind us here. He's going to be trying to make a move again, I imagine, on the next lap as we head into here. He's hit the back. He's tapped the back of us there. So he's actually damaged his front wing. You can see how much we've pulled away just in that corner there. So I don't know what's with the AI there running into us, but Hamilton has damaged his front wing. So an absolute shocker of a final round of the season here for Mercedes. You can see Hamilton pulls into the pit lane. That now means Valtteri Bottas is the car behind us chasing us down. Also, his teammate Perez there in 3rd, so it's a 2-3 for Red Bull at the moment. But with that, crucially, Charles Leclerc is now in the top 5. With Leclerc in the top 5, if something were to happen to us and we didn't finish the race or didn't score any points this race, and Leclerc finished 5th or better, he would win the championship, because if he finishes 5th, he'll gain 10 points, which would put us equal, and he has 1 more win than us so far this season, so he'd win the championship on countback of race wins. So got to make sure we don't make any silly mistakes here. On lap 7, Valtteri Bottas closing in on us with the DRS. He's going to go to the outside here of the chicane. We're going to go side by side. I've actually pulled ahead a little bit there. Although he keeps his nose in. Luckily, I was able to notice that he was doing that and give him the space on the inside so that we didn't end up making contact. But here we go now, down the 2nd DRS straight here. Is he going to look for a move? Yes, he's going to go to the outside of the 2nd chicane. Oh, actually, 3rd chicane on this track. A lot of chicanes around here in Abu Dhabi as we go side by side, making sure not to make contact with the Red Bull. And we do pull ahead. No, we don't, actually. Bottas sends it around the outside there. Has he got the move done? We're going to have the outside for this very long sweeping corner. Bottas is ahead, and Perez actually puts his nose in there. Luckily, we don't make contact. He almost runs us off track there at the right-hander, and we do get back ahead of the Mexican. But Bottas now takes the lead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. He's had some great pace in that Red Bull, especially considering he's only done the 2nd half of the season, remember. He was a free agent from the 1st half of the season. But on lap 8 now with DRS, we're going to try and make a similar move to what he made on us. We've gone purple in the 2nd sector. He almost hits us. I have to swing away from the Red Bull, away from the direction of the corner, and lock up the wheels to make sure I don't make contact there with the fin, as we now have the other Red Bull, Perez, once again alongside us. Are we going to get the move done? Perez is on our outside. He's going to hold it around the outside there. Very brave from the Red Bull, very brave from us as well to keep our foot planted, because I don't want to lose all these positions. I want to try and win this championship as safely as possible, and Perez is through now to second, but I want to get ourselves as far up and away from Leclerc as possible, because first of all, I don't want him to beat us. Second of all, I want to try and get as many points over him as possible, just in case any penalties or anything end up happening for whatever reason. But you may have just seen there, Valtteri Bottas into the pit lane for his first stop of the race. As we now cut to lap 9, you can see Perez, ourselves, and Leclerc all into the pit lane for our first stop of 2 stops. We'll be going on to the soft tyres from here, same too with Perez and Leclerc. And yeah, then we'll be going on to mediums for the end, should everything go according to plan. You can see we've got other cars in behind us as well. There's Yuki Tsunoda and the AlphaTauri. And actually, I think the AlphaTauri held up the Red Bull there. We're going to exit our pit box, and we are ahead of Sergio Perez. Just very crucial move there. You can see we've actually pulled away from the Ferrari a little bit there, so I don't know if maybe Leclerc got a little bit held up as well. But that is us out and into P6 it is, just about P6 there. Looking behind us, Pierre Gasly gets ahead of Sergio Perez there. And Gasly has already made a pit stop. He made his first pit stop. He's actually gone onto the medium tyres here. So yeah, interesting to see the undercut work so well, because look at Valtteri Bottas. He's in P4. He's 5 seconds up the road from us. Also, Max Verstappen is an absolute margin ahead of us. Same too with Lewis Hamilton. But as we head down the straight here on lap 10, here comes Pierre Gasly on those mediums with the DRS. He easily flies around our outside, and Sergio Perez goes for a massive dive bomb on us and Gasly, the Red Bull and AlphaTauri there, senior and junior team, going at it here for P6 and P7, and actually Perez misses out on the DRS there, so that big dive bomb was actually to his detriment, as we're now going to get back ahead of him, and we're going to go for a dive bomb on the AlphaTauri as well. Why not get ourselves back into P6? He turns across there, I have to go across the inside sausage curb to make sure we don't make contact with the AlphaTauri and get any unnecessary damage. We just about keep it ahead of Perez, and so we're into P7 now. We've got to try and chase down the AlphaTauri if we want to get ourselves back into P6 and chasing down these front guys. But you can see here, Valtteri Bottas, Max Verstappen, and Lewis Hamilton, they're quite a bit ahead here. So the undercut has worked absolute wonders for them there, even though Hamilton and Verstappen had to change their front wings. It doesn't really look like a matter at all, because they're way ahead of us, and we all still have to make another pit stop. So they are legitimately that far up ahead of us. The 2 Alpines also just coming in for their pit stop now. That's Alonso. Ocon, I imagine, will come in next lap for his pit stop. They started on the mediums, but you can see there was a bit of a demonstration. We do have a new DRS zone there on that main straight to sort of keep all the cars closer, and it certainly seems to have worked, because there is a lot of battling going on here as we now cut a little bit further into lap 11. We're going to get ourselves back ahead of the AlphaTauri there. We've set a purple first sector, so we've got a bit of pace to us, and now that these tyres are warmed up, you would hope that we're a bit quicker than the AlphaTauri on those slightly more used medium tyres. And we do have a nice gap to the AlphaTauri there. He won't be able to get back to us. As we now look onto lap 13, we've pulled over a second to Pierre Gasly, and now here comes Sergio Perez with the DRS, because Gasly is vulnerable without the DRS. Perez is going to go to the outside here of the chicane. Is he going to get the move done? These guys battled before, and Gasly came out on top. Is the same thing going to happen again? We've got Charles Leclerc just behind them as well, in the similar situation that we were into when they last battled, trying to find his way past both of them. And Perez has again missed out on DRS, so you'd assume he's going to get swamped. No, actually, Leclerc's going to get ahead of the AlphaTauri, and Perez, his sweet paths to both of them. Our title rival, hungry to chase us down and try and do anything he can to win this championship. We're both going for our first Drivers' World Championships here. And yeah, Leclerc making an absolutely insane move there to get ahead of the both of them in the braking zone. You can see now on lap 14, Verstappen in for his second pit stop of the race. This should be his last pit stop for the race. He'll be going to the end here on another set of medium tyres, because there's still half the race to go, so you wouldn't imagine he's going to go onto a set of softs. But look at this, we got Charles Leclerc closed into the back of us here. We've got actually a pretty big gap to the guys behind, especially now they've started making pit stops again, as here comes Leclerc on lap 16. He flies past us with DRS, and am I going to go for a move? Yes, I am, to the inside of the chicane. I don't want to let Leclerc pull away. He's made slight contact with our front wheel there. Luckily, no damage.
Tyre condition is still looking good.
So luckily there, Jeff, just confirming for us, no front wing damage there on our car, and so we can easily come back for a move here with a second bite of DRS down that second DRS straight, and we've just made it past Leclerc, but we made a little bit of contact, and I think possibly Leclerc's got a little bit of front wing damage from that now, because he hasn't really been able to close in on us, and now we have actually a DRS fault on our car, so hopefully we can keep it ahead, and luckily we are able to. He was never really quite able to get close enough to make a move on us, and I do think he has a bit of front wing damage after making that little bit of contact when we overtook him there. And that'll be confirmed to us this time around in the pit stop if he does get a front wing change as we come in for our second and final pit stop of the race here onto a set of medium tyres for the both of us. And you can see there in the background he does have a new front wing going on that car, so that'll cost Leclerc time crucially there, and that could be our saving grace here just to get us out of that battle as Verstappen goes past us. So we're going to have to try and chase down a teammate if we want to beat him here. But really, I don't even really care where I finish this race, as long as we finish ahead of Leclerc, or at least as long as we win the championships, really. That's all that matters now at this point. Obviously, a race win would be a lovely way to cap off this series in its entirety here on the F1 2021 game. But yeah, it'd be nice if we could just win the championships. You can see, looking ahead now, we've got the two Alpines of Alonso and Ocon leading the way. They've still both got to make a pit stop. And then we've got Hamilton and Verstappen just behind them trying to find a way through. But the Alpines are actually pretty decent in a straight line now. You'll see here a bit of a demonstration. Alonso has a little bit of a gap to Ocon. Ocon has DRS. And then Hamilton and Verstappen aren't even able to get ahead of Ocon here. Sure, Ocon has DRS. But you'd think with the amount of overspeed that these front-running cars have over the Alpines, they get ahead. But no. So really, what's happening here is Hamilton and Verstappen are getting massively backed up through the corners, but they're not able to get ahead on the straights, and that's massively helping us. We've got 4 seconds to chase down Verstappen. Leclerc sets the fastest lap of the race. He is closing up to us pretty quickly here, at pretty much the same rate that we're closing it on Verstappen. You see, lap 23 now, we're 2 seconds from Verstappen. Leclerc's only 3.5 behind us. He sets another fast lap of the race, so he's on an absolute rampage at the moment, trying to close into us here. And you can see, finally, he's sort of breaking the mold now on lap 25. We finally get DRS on our teammate, and you can see just a little bit later here on lap 25, we got the DRS down the main straight. We're going to go for a big send into the chicane here to move ourselves into second place here at Abu Dhabi with just 4 laps to go here. This is, we go around the outside of Verstappen, and is he going to be able to come back at us now, or is he just going to sort of realise that it's not worth it here, that we're trying to fight for the Drivers' Championship, and he will actually just sit behind us there, not even a look of trying to make an overtake. So now it's can we maybe chase down Hamilton for the race win? Leclerc should be pretty covered. I'd say it's pretty safe bet we're winning the championship. You can see we've closed in 1 second there from the start of lap 27 to the end of lap 27. We make the fastest lap of the Grand Prix there on the second last lap of the race. That shows how hard I was pushing, but we're not able to catch him, unfortunately, there. So it will be P2 for us here. Hamilton wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix here for Mercedes, but I don't really care. We're going to come around the final corner here, and we're going to win both the Drivers' and Constructors' World Championships.
Fantastic drive, and it means you're Drivers' World Champion. What a result. Enjoy it.
And so the celebrations begin, and well-earned they are indeed. It may have looked simple at times, but as any racing driver will tell you, competing at this level, at the very top, is anything but simple. There's no catching them now then. We have a new World Drivers' Champion. Victory today then, but bittersweet emotions, I'm sure, as the championship slips through their fingers. Even so, what a fantastic final race of the season this was. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
And so we've actually done it. In our final attempt to get it done, we've won both championships here in Season 3 of our F1 2021 MyTeam career mode here. We rounded off with another podium. We've had plenty of podiums and plenty of good finishing positions here, and a fast lap to our name here as well. So it's Hamilton that wins here in Abu Dhabi, ahead of ourselves in second. Verstappen also gets on the podium there for third. Nice way to finish off the championship with Leclerc in fourth place as well. Unfortunately, himself and Ferrari weren't able to do enough to challenge us in the two standings by the end of the season here. You can see there it is, confirmation. We win the championship by 17 points. Verstappen ends up in third, 32 points off us in the end. Obviously, he only came into this team halfway through the season, so it would have been interesting to see what he could have done if he'd been in from the very start of Season 3 here. But yeah, absolutely stoked to have won the Drivers' Championship here in our final tilt at the title. As we look at the Constructors, also confirmation of winning the Constructors' standings by 47 points over Ferrari. They started off so dominant at the start of the season, same too with Leclerc. Become the second half, they just weren't really able to keep up with the development of everyone else, and they started dropping further back into not losing from the fastest team on the track, but they weren't dominating absolutely everything come the second half of the season. You can see here's a nice little wrap up. 2 wins for ourselves, 4 for Verstappen, 2 poles for ourselves, 1 for Verstappen, 239 points for ourselves versus 207 for Verstappen, and obviously, as I've said, Drivers' Champion and Constructors' Champion for ourselves here at Zvezky Racing. But guys, that is it. That is the end of our F1 2021 MyTeam Career Mode. I guess, yeah, we'll have a couple day break before we head into F1 22. So if you guys did enjoy and want to see more content like this in the future and want to see content from the F1 2022 game, then yeah, make sure to leave a like or subscribe. And I'll see you all then. Goodbye.